my flowers. This is your favorite gardener here, and today we are going to plant more art. Alright, Halloween passed, but this month is still for the creepy stuff and ghosts, then I will try to talk about some stuff this year. Given that the new Harry Potter series is coming soon, and since I'm a fan of the saga, I decided to do speed paints and design some characters, and also talk about them. So, October and November are my favorite months, not only for the obvious reasons, also because of ghosts and scary stories, and there's nothing more scary and awesome than the ghosts of Harry Potter. Then, without further ado, let's plant. Let's start with the Bloody Baron. The Bloody Baron was born into nobility no earlier than 982, and at the age of 11 he became one of the first generations of students in Hogwarts, which at time was being run by its original founders. He was sorted into Slytherin House and was educated in the magical arts by Salazar Slytherin for the 7 years that followed. And we can't start to talking about him without talking about Helena Ravenclaw. Helena was the daughter, the heir of Rowena Ravenclaw, the founder of that house. She had a complicated history with her mother, but that's for another speed painting. The point is that Helena plays a pivotal role in the story of the Bloody Baron, as she would be both his downfall and who is today. He was in love with her, but, like any woman with the enormous right to choose, she rejected every insinuation or approach. The Baron wasn't much to write home about either, since, like all the Slytherins, he was rather explosive and had a personality somewhat like your dad when the football team is losing and he starts to yelling at the TV like a total idiot.
¡No! 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 ¡Estamos en la B! ¡Estamos en la B! ¡Pero hay que ser pelotudo, cabezón! ¡Así la concha de tu madre! ¡Así la concha de tu hermana! ¡La que te parió! ¡La puta que te parió! ¡La puta! ¡Deja patear! ¡Deja patear la concha de tu madre! ¡Deja patear, gitana! ¡La puta que te parió!
Later on his life, Helena stole the diadem belonging to her mother. This thing is important, believe me, and she ran away to Albania. Around this same time, Rowena fell fatally ill, and she ordered the Baron to go after Helena, yeah, like the typical Mexican soap opera. And which he did, eventually finding her in a forest. Why she was there, nobody knows. Maybe she just loved to be free and lonely as Merida, haha. After he had found her, the Baron tried to compel her to return with him, but she refused. Do you remember when I told you about the Bloody Baron was explosive? Well, in a fit of rage he killed her. Overcome with grief, he proceeded to take his own life with the same weapon he used to stab Helena. If I remember correctly, he didn't stab himself. He hanged himself with rope in a tree because he had regretted his actions. But meh, details. After those events, they came back as ghosts. Nobody knows when they decided to get back at Hogwarts. It must have been incredibly awkward to talk to each other after that event, especially if the Baron apologized to Helena. I mean, the journey from Albania to Hogwarts is very long. What did they talk about during the whole trip? Nobody knows but them. It's a complete mystery. Honestly, I don't blame her if she's still angry as hell even after more of 800 years. She was literally the victim of femicide just because she rejected a man. This is so fucked.
And now, we can talk about the other relationships of the Bloody Baron with the other ghosts. Obviously, with all this we already know what Helena thinks of the Baron. There's no need to talk about it anymore, although even so, we shouldn't blame her for it. Anyway, he does have at least a good relationship with one of the ghosts, and that is none other than Sir Nicholas, or better known as Nearly Headless Nick. They're almost friends, they treat each other with respect, and there's the typical Slytherin-Gryffindor rivalry. A curious fact is that the Bloody Baron was so proud of his house that he never lost it in the years before Harry Potter came along and messed things up with his Gary's Do style hop. But there's only one relationship that's too dominant and somewhat chaotic, and that's with Peeves. Oh Peeves, my dearest poltergeist, if you doesn't know him, it's okay, but let me explain.
Peeves is basically a pain in the back of everyone in Hogwarts. He's like an orange cat fused with a goose. Basically it's like your 8-year-old cousin if you give him sugar, a shotgun, superpowers, eccentric personality, and a body of a mature man but the laughing of a damn toy from the 50s. Yup, that's Peeves, and he's my big hear me out. Don't judge me. I have a very humble tastes, leave alone. But getting back to the subject, the Bloody Baron was so scary for everyone that he could make Peeves piss himself, and that's saying something, since he's not even scared of anything and mocks authority, except for Dumbledore and the Bloody Baron for some reason.
His fear of the Bloody Baron is so great that if you had to trick Peeves into crossing a corridor at night, all you would have to do was disguise yourself as him and mimic his voice to make Peeves run away without thinking twice so as not to anger the Baron by not following his words. There are many theories about why this happens, and I, along with several other people, have almost the same theory. Peeves and the Bloody Baron are almost identical. Ghosts could touch each other. My theory, and the one others have considered, is that since they are both incorporeal beings, or at least the Baron is, the latter can attack Peeves, as it has been shown that among ghosts they can touch each other, and because the Baron had such a great and heavy penance for his sins, Peeves can sense those sins and the enormous evil that the Baron may have left imprinted on himself and on the chains of his penance. Therefore, if one ghost can touch another, that means the Baron could easily hit Peeves like a Latino dad with chains.
Now, let's talk about the Baron's design in my style. I don't really have many ideas since I'm used to drawing women more than men, and the design is super basic for me, but I still did my best. If you see any mistakes, okay, I'm still working on it. Now, regarding what he has around his neck, I wanted to add a rope and chains to symbolize the weight on his shoulders because of his sins. As if those chains were suffocating the Baron and not letting him breathe. Also, as you can see, I didn't know whether to make them red to symbolize his condemnation or dark chains. So, I ended up changing all of that because it didn't quite convince me. Also, the sword was a rather interesting detail, as its design resembles that of a torso, the area where he stabbed Helena, and serves as a reminder that he will never cleanse his hands stained with innocent blood. And with all this, the moment I started doing all this drawing and art, I started thinking and analyzing everything. The Bloody Baron reminded me of someone from the same universe who is also a parallelism. Think about it, someone from Slytherin who has fallen deeply in love with a woman and who, because of her rejection, was condemned for all eternity, dying at the hands of the same weapon with which they condemned the one who rejected him. That's right, I'm talking about Snape. Snape and the Bloody Baron are really parallel stories, only in Snape's case he was able to save them all at the cost of his life, and the Baron couldn't. Both loved a woman in their lives and there was no one else after that, and in the end they had to take care of other people's children, that is, Hogwarts students. It's really sad, and honestly, thinking about it only makes me want to draw them both even more. And now, that concludes the speed paint. What did you think? I hope you enjoyed it. It will take me a while to release another speed paint since it takes time, and as you know, I'm often sick or dealing with another problem. Whatever, I hope all of you guys can have a great day. I'm Bloom and this is how today's harvest turned out. Until next time.